Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I gotta get me a new mic, man. This is so annoying. Hate this thing. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Mostly gentlemen. What do I think about the market spike in the last weeks? I didn't see any market spikes, to be honest. I don't know what you're talking about. Better. Man, I have so many raw cards, man. I gotta do something about this, man. This is too much. I have so many raw cards. And it's like so overwhelming. Are you in contact with Team Samurai X1? I am, yes. We actually saw each other the other day. Frozen Sail, yo, what's up, homie? What's going on, man? I need wavy LOB blue as first ad. Nah, not for the price that I want for them. Show us your raw cards, please. It's way too many. Are you in contact with Neymar? No, I'm not. I don't. Pretty sure you're talking about. I think he's a soccer player or something. Let me get another T-shirt. This shit looks so raggedy. Give me one sec. Alright, there we go. Look how much classier this looks. Holy, looking better already. Alright, let me this way. Alright. So much shit on my desk. I'm so sick of it, man. Fuck. Man. I gotta do this, man. Am I 6.3? What does that mean? Am I 6.3 what? Also, this light is kind of shitty. Feet? No, I'm 5'11". What boxes are there in the back? Legacy of Darkness and a bunch of Japanese booster boxes. Am I still selling binders? I am still selling binders, but I'm sold out for now. I have a new run coming. If you guys want to pick up something, like, you guys can go to sunnyhobbies.ca. They have some of my binders left over. But otherwise, I don't have anything at the moment. I have, I think, maybe 1 or 2 Strictly Seconds, and that's pretty much it. Those are $25. But yeah, I have new colorways coming, and a new limited edition coming, but those are going to be in a few months. Are you interested in the 2023 Megatons? I saw the uncut sheet, so no, I'm not. Not even a little bit. What happened to the 20K giveaway? I've been lazy, to be honest. I recorded the video, and then I was like, I don't really want to post this, so I just kind of scrapped it. So I don't know what I'm going to do for the 20K giveaway. Maybe I'll just randomly give something out or something. I don't know. Thoughts on the OCG Ultimate versus TCG Ultimate in terms of quality and looks? I really like the way that the OCG Ultis look. They look pretty amazing, man. Omar, I recently bought a minty off-center DDS Blue Eyes for 2.5K. Not sure if I overpaid or not. I mean, if you're not trying to grade it, then, I mean, that's not a bad deal, to be honest with you. It's like, I would probably pay that if you have a really minty copy that is off-center. That's why I would pay 2.5. I don't have a problem with that. Any chance another video of PSA returns? Yeah, I mean, once I send something out, I haven't been sending anything out, to be honest with you. Like, I have that submission that I did the video on, but I still have to add like a bunch of cards to that. So I haven't really subbed anything to PSA. Give me 1 sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, but also the PSA slabs haven't been selling too well, so I kind of have been hesitant to give PSA more money. And not only that, like, I have a couple of people that want to buy my cards, and they're willing to pay the PSA 9 prices. So it's like, it's a better deal for me to just not even grade and just give them the card, and it's better for them since they don't have to like gamble with their PSA 9s, right? The Red Eyes Black Metal is my favorite. Very happy to get my PSA 10. Amazing, man. Congrats. Possible as patron to get the number 1 of 50 from the limited binder? No. I'm going to be getting number 1. What you guys will be getting from 2 to 50. So if you guys want like 50 out of 50, then you can have that. 7 out of 50. Like, I know a couple people that want those from the patrons, so they will get first dibs, and then yeah, you guys can have whatever's after that, and then you'll be able to keep the same number in the future as well, right? Like, if I have another drop of another colorway, you'll be able to get the same number for that. When am I doing a new room tour? Not for a little bit. What do you have planned for this weekend? I have a softball tournament on Saturday, and then on Sunday I have to relax because my arm is probably gonna be dead. Do you have still Legendary Dragon of White on your want list? It was never on my want list. Do you plan on having an ARS showcase in the future? That is, if you have any. To be honest, I'm blanking if you did. Yeah, I do have one in the works. I have some things that are in the pipeline before then. Have you seen that one dude on IG cracking PSA 9s and being all scratched and dented? I have a video coming up on that. I think it's either this one or the next. Actually, it might be this Monday, or it might be next Monday. I don't know yet. You seem to have high regard for the DDS Blue Eyes, but not the Dark Magician. Why is that? Because DDS Dark Magician looks like shit. That's why. I mean, like that. You can argue that DDS Blue Eyes looks better than SDK, but you can't argue that DDS Dark Magician looks better than SDY. SDY is really good looking. It's a really nice looking card. I don't like the way that DDS Dark Magician looks. I think it's kind of overrated. And this is coming from somebody who has like 5 of them. But man, I don't know how to sell these cards, man. There's so many. Like, I need to move them because I need to buy more Bitcoin, man. I need to buy more Bitcoin, but I can't because I don't have any more funds to put in it. Are you excited for the 2023 tins? Not really, no. I don't, not really, I'm sorry. What cards am I talking about selling? So I have like a complete IOC set, for example, right here. I have complete LON set, and they're all like pack fresh cards. It's just I want pack fresh value for them, right? I want pack fresh value for them, and in order to get that, I need to find either the right buyer or sub them in. And I've kind of been too lazy to sub them in. And that's the main reason. Bitcoin is not a wise investment, bro. I don't invest in Bitcoin. I put my savings in Bitcoin. Do you dabble in other financial investments besides BTC? So I have something in Canada called TFSA. I think it's the same thing that you guys have in the US called Roth IRA. It's basically like any taxed income, you put it in there, any gains that you make are not taxed. It's just enough it's just enough to make you think that you are actually making gains, but it's definitely not worth that much. But yeah, that's pretty much full, and I have that with Enbridge. Literally the whole account is just Enbridge stock, and I get paid 7%. Kaiser Chan said, I hope Bitcoin crashes below 5K. You hope, don't you? Don't you? You fucking loser, you. You can hope, bro. You keyboard warrior. I want I guess that's why you don't put all your eggs in the same basket. Well, I pretty much most of my eggs are in the same basket, to be honest. Like most of my, I put most of my wealth in Bitcoin. It's just the easiest kind of it's just like the one where it's like I can turn my brain off and just forget about it. That's the main reason. Like I don't watch it. I never look at it. It's just, hey, if I make extra money this year, I dump it into Bitcoin, and yeah, that's kind of how I do it. How do I get into Bitcoin? Well, it's about why do you want to get into Bitcoin? That's the main reason. It's not really about how, it's about why. Would you know by any chance the value of a raw near mint, IOC, BLS, Chaos Emperor, and DMOC? I don't know, probably like 400 for a proper near mint, BLS 200 and 200 for the other two. New Brunswick real estate is a good buy right now, in my opinion. I don't mind real estate. I have a couple investments in real estate, but the main problem I don't like with real estate is the headaches. It's headaches, right? Like to me, you have to understand I have a different philosophy than what you see with other people. Other people think like, oh, you can make wealth off of, watching numbers on the screen. I'm not like that. I'm the type where it's like I like to provide value and then store my wealth somewhere. You understand? Like that's kind of how I see it. And if I'm not providing value, like I don't think I deserve to be whatever wealth status I'm at. So yeah, like I don't. For me, like real estate is very headache heavy, where you have to deal with the tenants, freaking broken pipe, property management. Like it's actually so annoying like that. So to me, like I just can't I can't park too much money in things that give me headaches, and it's very very hard, okay, to find good deals nowadays because the market is so saturated, because you need to find such a good deal that you'll be able to make enough of a margin to have a property manager who will deal with the headaches and just pay you out, right? And these types of deals, like they don't really they exist, but they're not like that available anymore. Like you're not gonna find those types of huge marginal deals, right? So maybe I might be able to get into them if like the Canadian market ever crashes, but the government won't allow that to happen, right? um like they're not going to let that happen, and that's the main issue with investing in real estate. Like you're kind of just relying on the government propping up the market until the house of cards falls, and I just can't do that. I don't like assets like that. That was just, yeah. I don't like assets like that. Like right now, the market is so insane for real estate because everybody thinks that they are going to be able to become millionaires off of that. Like, and it's just a lot of that is gone, man. A lot of that is gone because of what's been happening in the past 10-12 years since they started quantitative easing. Strictly sealed, have you ever considered just liquidating your whole collection and calling it a day? Calling it a day. The reason I don't do that is because my collection is not just a collection, it's a business, right? It's like you're asking a pharmacist, hey, did you ever consider selling all of your medicine and calling it a day? Well, no, it's because it's how I live, right? Like I use the cards to monetize myself. I use the cards, for example, to show them on video, stuff like that. Like I use the cards as a mechanism to make money, right? And it doesn't make sense for me to sell the collection. Yeah, like it's just monetarily, unless I'm able to find something that's going to be able to make me more money than the collection, and I don't have any type of skill set that does that, right? I mean, again, I have a couple of real estates, but I have not been able to find good enough deals where I can kind of give it to a real estate management company and not worry about it. I'm not trying to be like the freaking landlord calling in the plumber every single time something goes wrong. Like I have too much to do for me to do something like that. I have too many plans, right? So yeah, I need something that is able to be hands off. And I've only found like 1 or 2 real estate deals that allow me to do this. And I haven't been able to find too much more. Yeah, but what about your PSA 10 collection? How do you make money with those sitting in your collection? Well, they don't just sit. Like I move them around. Like I'm constantly selling. I'm constantly buying my PSA 10s. Like I don't. The only stuff that doesn't really move is my binders. Like my binders are the only ones where it's kind of my binders are kind of the only dead asset that I have, and like maybe these statues, but I don't. These are very small amounts of my portfolio, where it's like not really negligible, where it's very negligible. Sorry, with the binders, those are like the only ones where it's like there's some real value in there that I am not monetizing, but I really like them too much for me to like just turn them into my business. Like they're kind of the thing that keeps me attached to the hobby, more than just looking at cards as numbers. My PSA collection is basically, I don't really consider my PSA collection as my foot in the hobby. My PSA 10 collection is definitely my foot into the business, because people who buy from me are in it more for investment value. The people who buy raw cards from me are more about the hobby. So like I have both feet in, right? Like I have the hobby side in my binder collection, and then I have my my foot with the PSA 10s in the business side of the hobby, in the investment side. You a home run hitter or a single guy in softball? Last year I was a big home run hitter. This year, man, I cannot hit it out. I don't know why, man. I cannot hit it. I cannot. No matter what I'm trying, I cannot hit it out of the park this year. I'm not sure what's going on, man. LOL, government gives squatters right in some states. Like what kind of nonsense is that? Yeah, like in Toronto, like this is a big problem. For example, like you cannot get tenants out. It's so annoying. So this is the type of stuff where it's like like the real estate that I purchase is not like, is not one of those where a fixer upper. Like I try to make the real estate look, for example, like there's a 6-unit building that there's a 6-unit building that I'm looking at. It's $3,400 a month in rent. Okay, 1,000 square feet in the middle of downtown. Like, or not middle of downtown, but like in a very popular area. Like that real estate investment, that one makes sense to me, because the tenants who are buying it are not gonna be people who are just, like gonna leech, or they're not gonna do some BS to try and stay in. Like when you have $3,400 in rent every single month, you're gonna be talking about like a very high profile person. So that's kind of like the type of demographic that I reach at, because like I said, like I'm not trying to become a millionaire off of real estate. I'm just trying to be to save the tenants, save my value, all the work that I'm doing from inflation, right? Yeah, so that's kind of yeah, that's why I'm actually not one of those guys who preach, oh, like buy real estate, because like the real estate market, like to me, okay, if you're banking on appreciation, it means you're banking on the government doing some BS to bottleneck the like the city, right? Because that's the only way prices can go up. Like, ask yourself, really, okay? Ask yourself, why is it that prices go up for housing? Why? Like, macroeconomically, why is it that housing prices continue to rise? Okay, let's just say population. So why is it that population started only really affecting real estate like in the past maybe, okay, like if you actually look at real estate prices over the past 300 years, you would see like it wasn't an investment vehicle up until maybe like the past maybe 60-70 years. Why is that? Like, why did that just suddenly happen? Is it just because the population really? Because you would think that, okay, if there's a bigger population, there should be more builders, right? Because if there's like, let's just say a population was 1 million and then you had 50,000 of them are builders. You have the population grow to 10 million. 50,000 of them should become 500,000, and you still have the same amount of ratio of builders, right? Like you should come out to the same, at least approximately the same amount of people who are building. Why is it that all of a sudden, like there's not enough supply? What is bottlenecking the supply? Because people have no problem urban sprawling out of the city, right? What is the thing that is stopping them from doing that? It's the fact that there's not enough supply, right? What is bottlenecking the supply? Is it builders don't want to build? Because apparently prices are through the roof, right? There should be a lot of profit on the a lot of profit on the table. What is disincentivizing builders from building more homes, right? You got to only look at one thing, right? There's only one thing that stops the supply from coming on the market. It's either zoning, licensing, permits, right? These three things are by who, right? Like, who is the one that is stopping these things from happening, right? So if you're banking on property value of going to go up in appreciation, then that means you're banking on the government bottlenecking the service, bottlenecking the housing industry even more, right? Because people have no like, what's gonna happen? Okay, like let's just say this is the city, okay, and let's just say it is so packed, the population is completely exploded. Why is it that people can't just go here or here or here? Why is it that they're stuck here? Okay, well, first of all, okay, let's just say that the city's here. The government is going to be sitting obviously right in the middle of the city, right? What is stopping the people from going out here is obviously there's no supply of houses. But the second reason is services, right? Services are always centralized where? It's where the government is, right? Now, private companies have to compete with public services, and public services can always undercut because why? They don't have to meet any profit margins. So if they don't have to meet any profit margins, because obviously they're public, there's no like all the money that they've got has been stolen. It's not actually rightfully earned money. So they don't have any quotas that they have to meet. The people that so these guys who are trying to create private services outside of the city cannot compete with the private industries. And the people who are trying to provide private services have to compete for customers who already paid from their tax money for the public services. So the people who already paid have a very hard time paying for a bus and then having a private industry come out for the outskirts to fund another private bus, right? Because you already paid for this. Now, if you had, for example, no public services here for the buses, what's going to happen is that private industry is going to happen here, and then once the prices get too high, what's going to happen is people are going to sprawl out. you're going to see buses start to run around here, and then these prices are going to start to go up as the population grows. We're going with the theory of population growing. That's what's causing prices. Again, people are going to sprawl out here. You're going to have more buses start to have, because the population is moving out, right? The population has to move up because, again, it's too dense in here. But when you have the population is dense here, and then these guys have all of their money being taken to provide for public services, if a private business owner wants to come out here and start building buses, nobody will pay for it because their money has already been taken away. So they're forced to stay in the city, and thus housing prices goes through the roof. You understand? Like, I don't know if I obviously, like, I'm not like very eloquent or well spoken, but hopefully I explained what happens with the city when you can't urban sprawl, when you can't kind of expand. You're forced to stay in here, and it's usually because of low supply, because of government permitting. Like in Toronto, for example, if you want to build, you're talking at least 6 months wait before you can build anything. Right? Like you're talking at least 6 months. So just think about the bottlenecking that's happening to the like real estate market. That's just this permit, just that. Like it's insane when people try to say like, oh, like we can't we can't afford housing. Well, I mean, the answer is right there in front of you. Like, look at what is stopping the supply from going up. Okay? And I don't blame any builder for raising the price here, because if the demand is there, you're gonna have to raise your price, right? I mean, it's just an auction. Like, that's really what it is. Housing market is literally just kind of an auction. It's not the guy saying, oh, I want this price because because he couldn't get it if the demand wasn't there. So why is the demand there, and why is the supply so low? And you have your question, you have your answer. What is bottlenecking the supply, and what is increasing the demand, or kind of forcing the demand to increase? So this is why I don't really do real estate, because I don't want to kind of join in on this house of cards of the real estate market as being propped up by literally just the government stopping people from building, and number two, the government basically printing money into oblivion so that the house prices stay up. The market in Canada is stupid. Everyone bidding 50K more than listing. Well, that's because there's more money in the market. That's why. Right? Like, you got to ask yourself, where did this 50K come from? Right? Why is it that people have this extra 50K that they can spend? It's because there's more money in the supply. And who's controlling the money supply? It's the government. Very easy to answer that. Very, very easy to answer that. Like, you got to ask yourself why this is happening. You can't just say, oh, people are being greedy. That's a cop-out answer. You have to analyze truly what is causing this problem. Just like what happened with trading cards during COVID. Yes, well, number one, you had, again, an influx of money. So what happens to some asset classes? They all rise. There's also a massive amount of immigration and not a lot of housing starts. By housing start, you mean building, right? That's what I meant, right? Like, if there's nothing wrong with immigration, right? If you can bring people over, okay? Because again, just like how if there's 1 million people in Canada and 50,000 of them are builders, if you're gonna bring over like another 1 million people from other countries, I promise you 50,000 of them are going to be builders. And even if they're not, house prices are going to go up enough where it's going to incentivize somebody who's like a plumber. He's going to be like, all right, yo, fuck this. I'm just going to build a house. It's a lot more profitable. And then you're going to see the equilibrium come right back down, and housing price is going to be at equilibrium, right? But when you have immigrants coming in, right, raising the demand for housing, and then the housing supply is stagnant, if not like negative, because of the bottlenecking that happens with government. You're never going to be able to meet that demand, and prices start to go up and people can't afford it. We need immigration because of our aging population and not a big enough tax base to support them when they retire. No, I don't agree with that. I think we need immigration because it's not our land to tell somebody, no, you can't come in here. Like nobody owns Canada, or the imaginary land called Canada. Nobody owns that. It's not ours to say like, oh, you can come in, you can't come in. It's not ours. It's nobody's. Like show me the imaginary line that says this is Canada, this is the United States. It doesn't exist. It's literally a product of the imagination. It's not a real thing in the world. When God set the earth, or whatever you want to call the creator, whatever that Big Bang happened, whatever you consider is the creator, when there's land on the earth, okay, you ask somebody who has no knowledge of your imagination, right? And you tell him, look, do you see a difference here between Canada and the United States? And you're like, the fuck you talking about? He's looking at me like, the fuck you talking about? It's literally just land. What do you think about interest rates and the Fed trying to get back its credibility? In order for the Fed to get back its credibility, it has to raise interest rates to like 20%, bro. Forget 6-7%, bro. It has to go back to 20% to stave off the inflation that we've had. I agree to some extent. In the perfect world, 0 visas and the ability to roam wherever would be ideal, but it doesn't work that way. Yeah, it doesn't work that way because you don't want it to work that way. It's not a perfect world. It's a morally correct world. It's not a perfect world. Like you don't. If I understand that I don't have the right to tell people you can't come in here, or you are allowed to come in here, or you're not allowed to leave, or you are allowed to leave. If I understand that, everybody else should be able to understand it, because I'm not smarter than anybody else. Right? I'm the same level of intelligence as pretty much everybody else. And if I'm able to understand this, then everybody else should be able to get it. But they don't want to because they're just immoral people. Farah said, looks like this is the housing market watch. Shaking my head. Unsubbing. See ya, Faris. Peace. Can you share an unpopular opinion that you have? I love to debate. Sure. Here's an unpopular opinion. Okay. What is an unpopular opinion? Well, it would be unpopular to... what's an unpopular opinion? Yeah, I think government is unnecessary. I think everybody should be able to own firearms. I think we can't do anything to stop abortion that is moral. I think abortion, like if somebody wants to abort their child, that's their decision. We can't really get involved with that, or we can't use the state to stop that. I don't agree with the existence of police or the idea of police. I don't agree with the existence of an army, or at least I'm for a standing army. I'm not against. I'm against an army leaving our land, if we are to have an army. Yeah, that's a lot of unpopular opinions right there. I don't agree with. I think taxation is theft. I think pretty much most laws are pretty much garbage. Like most commercial laws are pretty much garbage. The only real laws are the ones that nobody's able to commit, and it's not a financial crime. I agree with all of those. I agree with all of those except the police one, putting way too much trust on people to be moral. Okay, well, sure. It's not about people. Okay, so it's not really about. Okay, so I guess let's dissect. Can you elaborate on the police one? Okay, yeah. So let's dissect what I mean by police. Okay, a police. Okay, but what I mean by police is basically a force that is able to be commanded by the government to inflict coercion, harm, violence, or kidnapping, locking up in a cage, based on the commands of the government. This is what I mean by police force. I am not against the idea of I'm not against the idea of a police force, of a so-called police force where you are able to where each officer themselves, if they are to be called upon, they analyze the situation, and then they help somebody who cannot help themselves. I am against the idea of basically a dog that is being able to be commanded by the government to attack whoever the government decides on. So I am for something like private security. I'm for this idea. I am against the idea of a dog that attacks whoever attacks whoever the government commands or deems. So that's my kind of unpopular opinion. Would there be laws if there's no police? What would they be enforcing? So like I said, the laws, in my opinion, are not written by the government. I don't think the government decides the laws. If they do, then that means that they are not rightful laws. So if we are to find out basically, so basically we have to figure out what are the laws that we think are worthy of being enforced, and in my opinion, okay, I don't think it's my opinion, but this is basically what my experience and my scientific, okay, this is my experience and my scientific method, and through my scientific methodology, how I came to the conclusion of things that are immoral. Okay, I don't think that they are my own creation. I think that they were originally immoral before I existed, and they will be immoral after I existed. It's just I have to, as a human being, uncover these truths that existed before me and after me. Okay, and these are very simple. Number one, you don't hurt somebody, like physically hurt. You don't kidnap. You don't trespass on somebody's property. You don't commit sexual assault. You don't steal from them, you don't steal their property. You don't willfully lie, like contractually lie. And then number seven is you don't and then you don't I forgot what the seventh one was. Okay, I forgot what the seventh one was. I don't quite remember, but there's seven things that you can't do, in my opinion, that I think most people would agree to be objective truths. Because if somebody said that, if you saw somebody doing this, you would say, this person is in the wrong, okay? While everything else, you could argue for it, and I would argue against it, and I can show you why I think you'd be incorrect in your thinking as to why this is a wrong thing. And it all comes down to the idea of you don't harm people. That's it. Like you don't do harm. That's the basic rule. You do unto others what you want done unto you. Okay? That's basically what it comes down to. And then every other law is pretty much bullshit. Okay? So for example, you're not allowed to smoke weed. That's bullshit. You're not allowed to do crack. That's bullshit. You're not allowed to do cocaine. That's bullshit. You're not allowed to do whatever it is that you want to do with your own body. That's bullshit. So anything that is pretty much, because again, I don't have the right to tell you what to do. If I have the right to do that, then that means I'm imposing on you. I'm using a threat of violence to force you to not do this, right? Like the main reason that somebody would not smoke crack if they wanted to smoke crack is because they're under the threat of violence of somebody telling them, hey, if you do this, I'm going to hurt you. Right? So because of this means if I force my will upon you, I'm doing harm unto you. I see you're pro-drugs. I'm not pro-drugs. I am pro-freedom, and the person has the right to do whatever it is that they want to do. I'm against somebody telling somebody else what to do. That's what I'm against. I'm not pro-freedom. I'm not pro drugs. Like I don't care about drugs. I don't really have an opinion on drugs. Like that's their prerogative. I don't do crack. I don't do cocaine. But that's again somebody. I don't have the right to tell them what to do. Freedom, private property, and the respect towards others and their project of life. Exactly. That's exactly what I believe in. Right? So and that's kind of like the main methodology where, okay, if you understand that these are the only rules that you can have, okay, because everything else is an infringement on these rules, okay, then you understand that pretty much every single law that government makes is garbage. Omar, I was having this debate with my friend. I want your input. Is it moral to rob somebody who tried to rob you? So I do believe, okay, so let me explain something to you esoterically, okay? Esoterically means through the understanding of the occult, okay, or hidden information. Occult means occultere. It comes from the Latin. It just means hidden, okay? The rules that I told you about, those 7 rules, those come from the right side of the brain. It is called the feminine principle, okay? The feminine principle states that you don't do harm. The masculine principle is the ability to defend yourself if somebody does harm onto you. And it is actually your right to defend yourself. Like you have the utmost right to defend yourself if somebody does harm onto you. That's the masculine principle, the principle of self-defense, and then the feminine principle is the principle of harm, like you don't do harm, okay? Yes, you are allowed to defend yourself. Now, are you able to rob somebody? What does that mean? Like if somebody tries to rob you they try to rob your chain or whatever, you're walking in the street, okay, you have the right to defend yourself up to and including deadly force, okay, but you don't have the right to go into their house and grab their TV. No, you can't do that. Okay, so you can defend yourself on the spot and then warn the people around you, hey, this dude tried to steal from me, present your proof, etc. Okay, but you are not allowed to go into their house and rob their shit. Someone pulls out a knife and tries to take your wallet, so you knock them out and take their wallet instead. Oh no, you are not allowed to steal from them. No. So if they try to attack you, they lost their right to their autonomy, so you can harm them back, but you can't go further than that. No. Do you believe in the death penalty? I believe the death penalty is okay if it's executed by the person who was done harm onto them. So if you kill my child, I am able to kill you. Yes, I do think that you are able to do that. Yeah. Now, do I think that everybody's able to do that, or the state can decide that? No, I don't. I think the punishment has to be occurred. The punishment has to be incurred by the victim, or like someone close to the victim, because of what's it called? Because if we allow like an arbiter in between, like an executioner, we kind of lose grasp of the veracity of taking someone else's life. You understand? But then again, even then, it's very difficult to prove it, right? So I do believe in in due process. I believe in all of those things. So because of this, it's very hard to exact like the whole death penalty. It has to be like kind of on the spot. I don't think like, oh, like somebody did something and then 3 months later you kill them. No, I don't agree with that. No. What happens if someone just slaughters the whole family and friends? So the way that I see it is, okay, so if someone does this, I think the community that is around this area, okay, like if someone does this, let's just like in brute honesty, okay, like in straight up honesty, you can't do anything. You really can't do anything about it, okay. But what you can do as kind of like a community is excommunicate this person, or enact a punishment on this person if you catch them and you can prove it. Okay, I don't believe in mob rule or anything like that. If you can prove it and everything's okay, then like you have video or whatever, then yes, you can. But for the most part, let's just say like he got away with it and stuff like that. No, I think that it's basically, it is what it is. I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, wow, look, that is insane. You have to understand that when you take a deep dive into the occult world, you understand that life and death is not really like, it's not like that crazy of a line, okay? Because it's like death is not that big of a deal. Like you'll be very comfortable with death as you delve into the occult more and more. If someone accuses you of a crime and you're found to be innocent, should the original accuser be punished? It depends. It depends. If he's able to bring enough proof, but not enough proof, then I don't know how I would rule that, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know how the free market would rule that. Like, and this is not to say like I think that the judicial system that we have right now, other than the government laws, I think that the actual common laws, I think they're very just. I think what they came up with is actually very, very amazing, to be honest with you. Like, and I wouldn't call myself a judge, and I couldn't rule myself. I couldn't make these types of rulings, but what I would like, I don't know how a judge would rule this, but I think the way that judges rule today, in terms of common law, I think it's very much fair. Like you can't just say, like, if when you're accusing the person, it comes out that you're just trying to defend, like to cause defamation or something like that, then in my opinion, obviously there should be some punishment there. At least you have to make him whole, as much as like however you consider that. but it's very different than, you know, saying like, oh, this guy stole an apple from my store and then you can't prove it. Like, okay, right? Like, you can't, because you actually thought that he stole the apple, but it turns out that he didn't, right? So it's like he can walk out. I don't think the accuser should be punished of anything there, right? Do you consider yourself a libertarian? No, I consider myself an anarchist, but I do believe libertarians are pretty much like 6 months away from anarchy if they are able to truly understand the concepts that they believe in. If they're able to study their concepts more, most libertarians end up being anarchists in the long term. You can't think that there's going to be a small government and it's not going to grow. Like, it just doesn't exist. It's either no government, no immorality, or morality. That's it, right? Like, that's it. Or immorality, sorry. Immorality or no immorality. You can't have an in-between where it's like, oh, we can have a little bit of immorality. How about minarchy? Yeah, minarchy is basically libertarianism, right? Like, it's a small... What does minarchy mean? Means minimal archy. Archy comes from archon, which means ruler, okay? Anarchy means no or absence of, no ruler, no rulers. That's what anarchy means. There's no rulers. Minarchy means there's a small number of rulers. Monarchy means means one ruler, monarchy, right? So it's so when I say like, oh, you can't have a minarchy, you can't have a libertarian or like a small government. There's no such thing. Once you have a ruler, this ruler will eventually want to grow. It just doesn't exist. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as there's no such thing as minarchy. Or even if you have it for a little bit, what rules are they able to break, right? Right? Like, what rules are they able to break where they become rulers, right? Because that's what a ruler is, right? A ruler is somebody who has his own set of rules that he's able to impose on other people, right? Have you read Noam Chomsky's book on anarchism? I believe so. I haven't read it in a minute though. Maybe it's just the 7 rules that you mentioned, for instance. Yeah, so those, like I said, those 7 rules, if you truly so if you look at those 7 rules, you realize that you don't actually need a ruler to impose those, because those rules are innate in human beings. Human beings just don't want those things done onto them, right? Like, human beings don't want to be raped, so you don't rape. Human beings don't want to be killed, so you don't kill. You don't want to be stolen from, so you don't steal. Like, those are very simple rules. While, for example, if you look at laws, like, let's just say somebody speeds up, okay? Somebody speeds on a highway, okay? Or somebody parks in the wrong spot. Human beings, they don't have really a problem with it, because there's nothing being done onto them, right? It's on the highway, right? Or it's in the parking spot, right? So because of this, that's how you know it's kind of like it's like coming out of thin air. It's empty, right? There's nobody backing this. What are your thoughts on monogamy and polygamy? I have no thoughts on it. It's whatever the person wants to do. Whatever they agree to, that's fine by me. I don't give a damn. And this is to say, for example, like for the 7 rules, this is something that's very interesting, is that if disagree with the speeding, it can affect you. Okay, so if it can affect you, how is it affecting you? Like, for example, let's just say you're driving and somebody's speeding, and they I don't know, they sped up to 150, okay, and you are only comfortable at 100. How does it affect you? It can affect you if they hit you, and that's completely different. The speeding is not the issue here. The issue is that they hit you, right? Yeah, but okay. So then, if you're so if what you're saying is that if something increases your chance of an accident, then that means that it should be like kind of outlawed. Okay. Well, why don't you just drive at 20 miles per hour then instead of 100? Because I'm sure 20 miles will have way less accidents than 100 miles an hour, right? Right? So then that means that 100 miles an hour should be outlawed. But you're okay with that because the government told you that, oh, this is how you should be driving, right? Because that's what you're comfortable with. But what if somebody's comfortable with 150 and they're fine? I know a lot of people who've been driving for like years and they've never had an accident. They always speed, right? So if your like metric for how you measure like what you can outlaw is basically, oh, like if I'm driving, no, like I don't think that is consistent, because if I applied it between 20 and 100, if I applied it between 20 and 100, it would still also fall off, right? So you think there should be no speed limits? Well, no, I didn't say that. I said, let's just say, for example, we have private road. If, for example, this private owner, he has this toll road and he says, okay, there's no speed limits. Okay. If everybody's driving 200 and there's a lot of crashes, nobody will use his road. What this guy's going to do is going to be like, oh, wait a minute. I think that this is not very safe. And he's going to implement his own rule for how fast you can go. Right? And what he's going to do is, if he puts it down to like 70, okay, people are going to be driving. They're going to be like, holy shit, this is so slow. Okay. And then they're going to, and then and nobody will use his road again. So he's going to have to raise the road speed limit, and he's going to have to raise it to 80. And then he's going to test it again. Nobody's driving. 90, nobody's driving. 100, nobody's driving. Maybe he sets it at 120 and people are suddenly okay with it. And that is what the free market chose as a speed limit for this road. Now, let's just say we as humans become very, very proficient at driving, where 120 is not good enough anymore. What you're going to see is people are going to, somebody else is going to come out and create their own road, and they're going to set the limit to 150. Or let's just say we as human beings become inept and we can't handle 120 miles an hour anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to reduce it to 70 miles an hour again. Okay. And that's what the free market chooses. But it's not, I don't agree with, oh, high is not comfortable with 100 miles an hour. So this means that we axe it. Or Austin Fair is not comfortable with 80 miles an hour. So that means we axe it. I think the free market can choose. I don't think that you are God and you can't tell people how to drive. And I don't think the government is God where they can tell people, oh, you can drive at this speed limit or you can't. You understand? So I don't agree with the idea of people setting the laws. I think the free market should set the laws by itself. You don't need the government to do it, and you don't need High or Austin Fair to do it for you as well. How did we currently get to the speed limit? I don't know, bro. I know, for example, I have a road here called Victoria Park. It was 60 for at least 15 years, and then they reduced it to 50. Not a single person drives on the road at 50. Not a single person ever drives on Victoria Park. I'm sure any of you Torontonians know this. You guys know that nobody drives at 50. Everybody drives at least 70, right? And everybody gets ticketed for 20 miles above. So I would tell you that, no, I don't. I think the set limit is pretty much, it's literally whimsical, and I think it's capricious, and I don't think that it's it's true, because most people don't abide by it anyway. It's just a way to ticket the person. That's it. I don't think it was like scientifically chosen and the free market ruled on it. No, I don't think so. Because nobody abides by it on Victoria Park. Everybody drives 70, barely any accidents. Those Toronto speed cameras popped up after they set the max speed to 50. Yeah, they set the max speed to 50 because they want you to waste your life on the road. That's the main reason. Right? Like, it's not because people want to drive at 50. No, it's not. They wanted to. Most people drive at 70 on Victoria Park. They have literally. I have never seen a single person drive 50. Never, ever. Even the old ladies drive at 60. I always drive 10 above except around schools. There you go. So you drive 10 above. Does this mean that you are an outlaw? Does this mean that you should be caged? Does this mean that you have the somebody can commercially fine you? Absolutely not. People can commercially fine you if you hit somebody. Yes, they can, yeah. The thing is, you're more likely to lose control over a car if you're going a higher speed limit, especially those in the 100 plus range. You will have less response time to react if you are going much faster. Again, I'm not disagreeing with this. I think the free market can choose that. I don't think that you are God or High is God or Austin is God or the government is God to say this is the way that you should be driving. I don't agree with that. No. Right? Like, again, the idea is that the free market can choose it. If this person has a private road and he wants to be God and he sets it at 50, no one will use his dumbass road. You understand? Right now, we're forced to use Victoria Park because we're forced to pay for it. Because if we don't, we will be either assaulted or caged or commercially fined. Right? So I think the free market will choose. And what you will see is this. Sometimes you'll see two roads right beside each other. One guy will say this is a fast lane and you will pay and you will drive at 120. And another lane where people that are not comfortable at 120, they'll drive at 100. Right? And you'll see that. Like, I mean, you see it with private roads right now, right? Like, you see it all the time. Right? You have to understand something, okay? Most speeding tickets, okay? Literally most laws are commercial in nature. What does commercial mean? It means that you are going to pay, okay? What does that mean? That means it's a law for the poor, okay? Because rich people don't give a fuck about a $150 ticket. They don't give a damn about $200 ticket. The person who drives a Lamborghini does not give a fuck about a $500 ticket, a $5,000 ticket. You understand? This means it's a law for you as a poor person. It's not a law for the rich. Okay? The only laws that apply to both rich and poor are the ones that I stated earlier, which is the harm ones. Okay? You understand? Like when you see that there's a parking ticket, okay? Do you think somebody who drives a Lamborghini gives a fuck where he's parking? He doesn't give a single damn. All he does is, okay, bill me, no problem. $150 ticket, no problem. You understand? They don't give a single fuck about what they're being charged because they make too much money. You understand? You are being basically enslaved by the idea that, oh, we need these laws. The laws are just for you. The laws are for the poor. They are not for regular people. They're for the poor. They're not for the people who actually have money. Okay? That's why they always put commercial laws. They never ever pretty much ever put you in jail unless you're either harming the government via tax evasion or you harm somebody else via the rules that I said. You understand? Like, I'm telling you, go look at every Lamborghini in the freaking in downtown areas of your city. You will see they all have parking tickets. The people don't give a single fuck. Like, they don't give a single damn. I'm telling you, they don't care. Not even a little bit. Like it's insane, bro. Like my sister was driving, okay, and then this really rich guy in his G-Wagon smashed her car, okay. You know what he said? He literally said, "No problem. Here's my insurance. Bill me." Okay, even though it was probably like my sister's fault because she was the one that was turning. Okay, the police officer even said, "Oh, it's probably your fault." The guy doesn't care. He said, "No problem. Here, bill me." Okay, this is how like mentally imprisoned people are, where they think that these rules are here to protect them. No, they're not. Because the people who want to speed, they will speed anyway. They don't give a single damn. Like it's yeah, like I I, I don't know, yeah. Have you noticed the rich always park in the handicap spots? Absolutely. The people who don't do it are the people who can't afford to pay the ticket. As long as you don't hit an innocent family, do you? As long as you don't hit an innocent family, do you? Well, hi, your tone changed, man. I thought you were all for like speed limits and stuff like that. I mean, the people that want to speed near me are kids in souped up Honda Civics. Definitely don't trust them going well over the speed limit. Well, that's because, to be honest with you, most people who drive luxury cars, they don't drive on public roads. They never ever do. They always drive on private roads. Like if you we have a highway that's a privatized highway in Toronto called the 407. Okay, that's where you see all the expensive cars because those guys they get billed like five, maybe 60, at most like $60 to go the whole way. Okay, they don't give a damn about no $60. How much money do you consider someone to be rich? About $30 million, 30 to $40 million. I think you pretty much avoided all commercial laws. Okay, commercial laws don't affect you anymore, and then you can buy whatever you want as well. Okay, once you hit over $5 to $10 million, then commercial laws don't matter to you. Commercial laws are only for the poor, and then but you can't buy whatever you want. So to me, I think 30, $40 million. After that, it's like unless you want like some big ass yacht or like, you know, a multi-million, like a huge multi-million-dollar home, then you can pretty much afford whatever you want at 30 million. You can buy whatever car you want, whatever it is. So I would say about 30 to 40 million. Hey, I'm a brokey too, man. I'm not rich either. Like I wouldn't consider myself rich. Didn't Faris unsubscribe? Oh yeah, didn't you unsubscribe, bro? I personally know property owners who make over $3 million in profit a month. Bro, you guys have no idea how much wealth exists in the world. You have no idea, okay? Like, it is unfathomable. Like, it will literally blow your mind. Like, okay, I'm telling you this because I've seen people, like, for example, when they buy my things, like when they buy something really expensive from me, bro, like 50K is like literally nothing. It's like nothing to them, okay? They earn it literally in one day. That's how disgusting it is. It's so disgusting. Like, it is mind blowing, okay? And this is what I mean by the people who think that the government is here to help them. They just don't have an understanding of how the world works. They don't have an understanding of how much money there is in the world and how much the laws don't matter once you have money. Like it's really like it's not, it's something that is very hard to put put a grasp on. Like, imagine, man, imagine 99% of the people in the world today, okay, they will buy one house, 500, 600K, okay? 99% of the world, they'll buy one house, 500, 600K, and they will work 40 years to pay that shit off. 40 years, okay? And there are people who walk into a Lamborghini store and literally put 500K for a Lambo right in, like literally in cash, okay? This is the type of difference in wealth that we're talking about, okay? 99% of the people think that they have some sort of retirement fund because they paid off their 500K house, okay? When somebody buys one thing in one day for that, like, it's unimaginable. You have to ask yourself, what the fuck am I doing wrong? What the fuck are they doing that they could actually be able to do something like this? Okay, because 99% of the people, they cannot even come close. 99% of the people can't drop 10K on something, okay? 10K on something that's something like unheard of to them. And there's people who drop 500K in like a day. Like, it's something that is like, you have to ask yourself, it's like what is different in their either genetics, in the way that they operate their life? What the hell is different? I don't think many people still believe the government is here to help them. Austin, you'd be surprised, man. You'd be very surprised. You'd be very surprised. And you know how? It's because when I said government shouldn't exist, look how many people started trying to contradict me. Like, it's craziness. When I was in Dubai, bro, I walked into this car dealership and this guy literally walked in with a cash. He's like, look, I need this Rolls Royce, I need this G63, and I need this Aventador. Like, imagine that. Like, what kind of world are we living in where literally something like that can exist? Where someone can just drop a pile of cash and buy something that expensive, when literally you talk to most people in the world today, they're paying off their mortgage. What distribution of wealth is ideal in your opinion? I don't think there should be any distribution of wealth, but what there should be is people not wanting to work for people who make millions of dollars. Okay? So that's what I think you should be doing. Like, if you really want to have wealth equality, you should not be going into work. You should be going in to learn, okay? Get paid and get the fuck out and make your own, right? That way, they do not have employees. They have to either raise the price of it for employees, aka reduce their profits, or what's it called? You compete with them so that the margins of the products go down, so that they cannot make millions of dollars. But right now, too many people are okay with going into work for a multimillionaire and getting paid the scraps, okay? But because why? They don't want to work on themselves. They're okay with getting that, you know, that check that they get every single 2 weeks. It's that morphine hit, and it staves them off for the next 2 weeks. You understand? That's the key thing in how we can have real distribution, and it comes from initiative of people saying, look, I don't want to work for this multimillionaire. I'm going to go in there, learn how he does what he does, and copy the same fucking thing for less margin. That's literally how it is. Hey, Kels.
Hey.
What's up?
Not much, you?
Nothing. What? I ate that a long time ago.
Why didn't you take it out?
Oh, I don't know.
Chicken sausages, the ones that you like from the...
Like most people are not lazy, they are mentally lazy, okay? They don't want to use their brain. That's the main thing.
Hungry?
What's that?
Christmas.
Yeah, I'll eat it, yeah. What do you think is a good minimum salary? I think if you're okay, if you want to be just okay, probably like 100, maybe 200 nowadays if you want to buy a property. The reason that doesn't happen is because most people aren't in the position to take risks. Well, to be honest with you, most people are in this position because they don't because they don't take risks, number one. Number two, to be honest with you, they're mostly cowards. That's the main reason. Most people in the world are cowards. And just to be frank with you, like they're truly on the inside, they're cowards in a way where they don't really believe in themselves. Most people truly don't believe in themselves. They say that they do, they talk a big talk, but they don't truly believe in themselves. They really don't. Fear is actually the most, it's literally the thing that allows human beings to be enslaved. That's what fear is. Fear is a thing that allows human beings to be enslaved and in the position that they are in. Because look, I can't whip a tree, okay? I can't scare a tree into making more fruits. It's gonna make a fruit. It's gonna make fruits between May and September, whether I like it or fucking not. I can't make a chicken lay some eggs by scaring it. I can't make it do that. I can't make a cow produce milk by scaring it. The cow doesn't give a fuck about me, right? The chicken doesn't give a fuck. The tree doesn't give a fuck. The person who does give a fuck is the human being. The human being is too fucking cowardly. That's what it is, really. And that's why the people at the top, they take great pleasure in putting human beings in fear. Because it's the only tool that people that they have. It's the only tool. Human beings are the only problem they have is that they're scared. That's it. They're scared of every fucking thing that walks outside. They're scared of being homeless. They're scared of like, yeah. I don't want to go too much, man. Fear is also what allowed us to survive in the past. Yeah, it allowed you to exist. Okay? You have to understand, it allowed you to exist. Okay? Exist. Not live, it allowed you to exist. And to be honest with you, who cares if people exist? Really, who cares? Who cares if you just exist? Like, honestly, what is the point of you just existing? You were scared when your DMG PSA 10 slab cracked, bro. I mean, I was shocked. I wouldn't say I was scared. What you describe in terms of risk taking is actually the most cited economic theory, prospect theory, if you want to look it up. I'll definitely look it up, I don't mind. Hey Strictly, did you ever pick up a reverse secret rare Asian English DMG? If so, I'd love to see it. I did not know. I don't think 90% of people will ever do anything great though unless they search this message out. It's wasted breath. I do think it's wasted breath. I don't deny that. But hey, like, bro, I've had some people who really like messaged me and they said like, hey man, like you did great things. So I do it for like the one or two people. So that's what matters to me. Everyone's idea of living is different though. For example, I'll pass on the opportunity of being a fat billionaire if it meant I could never be healthy or fit again. But why do you have to be a fat billionaire? Like, who said you have to be a fat billionaire? I have not seen a fat billionaire, to be honest with you. Most billionaires are actually extremely healthy. They're well fit. But you're not going to see really billionaires become that fat. Like you don't. Uh, like for the most part, most billionaires, most people who are really up there, they're pretty they're pretty healthy, man. Chris said, "Yo, what's good on? What's going on, Chris?" Like you want to cop out, and this is not to say billionaires is even a real thing. Like I think billionaires is kind of craziness. Really, I feel like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett aren't in the greatest of shape, bro. They're like fucking 80 years old, bro. Bro, they're 80 years old. Like, what do you want them to do? Like, fucking laps around the gym? Like, what? Bro, that guy, Warren Buffett is old as shit, man. What do you want from him? I should have clarified that they've never. I don't know what you consider in shape. Do you think that like that's a bodybuilder? Because even a bodybuilder, I don't think that that's in shape. In shape means that you're able to do most everyday tasks, okay, and live a pretty healthy life with no major illnesses, okay. A bodybuilder is not somebody that is fit to me. Like I don't consider that to be fit. I think that's kind of you're kind of wasting too much time on fitness, to be honest with you. That if you're able to get through life, accomplish everything that you need to do, play a couple rounds of tennis and stuff like that, and be able to carry your children at the age of 50 to 60, like what like really what more do you want in terms of fitness, man? Like I don't think somebody is somebody is like fit if they're able to like bench press 2 plates. Like I don't think that's fitness. Even though I can bench 2 plates. Just putting it up there.
I just noticed something.
Could I have the kusa?
Okay. How do you want to eat with a fork?
Anyway, I think that's enough. Let's see how many dislikes we have on this video, on this live. Oh, we have 50 likes. All right, let's get to 50 likes. Thoughts on Lorcana? Heard it launched today. Yeah, I don't have any thoughts on it. I think it's kind of gimmicky. I haven't seen any of the cards. Is it like basically movie screenshots or is it original art? Because that's what really matters. If it's or if it's original art, I think that's great. I think they're very loved characters at Disney, so they can, and they have a huge lore that they can tap into. But if it's screenshots if it's screenshots, then that's a pass. That's another Weiss Schwartz. Looks like the chases will be alt arts like Pokemon. It's original art, especially the Floodborn and Dreamborn cards, which are not based off of movies. What the hell is Floodborn? I think so.
Do you want the fork and knife?
No.
It's gonna get real messy.
That's fine. Thank you. Actually, I'm gonna eat first. Oh, someone said Kusa is mid, Majedda clears.
I agree.
I like both.
Tell him I agree. So good.
Is that a pickle? No, it's
Zucchini.
it's zucchini. Chew, bro. Damn. It's so good, man. This is the closest we're gonna get to Omar having OnlyFans.
LOL. No free beef.
What's my favorite food? No, it's okay. I'm gonna go wash my face anyway.
What is your favorite food?
All right, I'll be back. I gotta wash my face. Delicious, thank you.
You want anything else? You want a canvas?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you. All right. I rate that Kusa. That one was not made by my wife. The one that my mom makes is goated. Okay, that is goated. But this one I'll probably say it's like 8 out of 10. Is the studio its own room or in an open area? It's actually open. I just have a TV that pretty much is like right there, and it basically blocks off the living room from this area. Ate it like a twink. Yeah, give it 8 out of 10. It's not too bad. You can get it from Adonis. Have you seen any new movies recently?
Barbie.
I saw Barbie. I didn't see Oppenheimer. I wanted to see it in 70 millimeter, but it was all sold out in Canada. Would you ever consider buying Lorcana? I imagine the base set hits would be worth a lot one day. I'm not sure, man. I don't bank on stuff like this. I don't bank on stuff like this, but I think the Disney brand is super strong. So yeah, to me, I kind of want to get out of physical assets. To be honest with you, like so for me, like I think when all is said is done, when all is said and done, what I'll probably have is basically a binder collection of every single card that came out in Yu-Gi-Oh, and then or at least from Yu-Gi-Oh like 2002 until the 5Ds era, and then pretty much sell everything else and keep one of every booster box. That's kind of what my final goal is. I personally don't care for Lorcana, but the cards seem like they would hold great value because of how strong Disney's IP is. Yeah, I mean that is true, and also like you don't know. You'll also be able to like kind of see which franchises have such a huge fan base, right? Like I would imagine like Lilo and Stitch doing really well. Like I would love to have a Cobra Bubbles card. I think Cobra Bubbles is a badass. So yeah, I would love to have like a Cobra Bubbles card or something like that. But I would love cards like how the old Topps Chrome Pokemon cards used to be. So yeah. Strictly, if I'm generating $300 every 2 weeks, what would be a smart way slash investment to start a Yu-Gi-Oh business? I don't recommend you start a Yu-Gi-Oh business. I would recommend you start your own business. You don't have to rely on Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm trying to branch out of Yu-Gi-Oh. You don't want to rely on another company for your success. So I don't recommend you do that. And if you want to figure out how you can come up with some business ideas, you have to kind of warp the way that you think, okay? What will happen is number one, everybody will not want to talk to you anymore because all you'll talk about is how you're gonna make money off of this business or how much money this business makes. Like for me, I noticed with my wife's family, for example, bro, like they can't stand listening to me anymore because they're talking about some random shit about I don't know how the weather or whatever, and I walk into like when we're walking into like I don't know some restaurant and I'm looking like, oh, how much do these chairs do you think cost? How much do you think they're paying these waiters? These menus, let's just say all of these people are paying this much. That's literally how I think about every single thing that I go into now. It's so weird. So, yeah, if you want to become a business owner, that's literally how you have to do it. You have to literally walk around as you're walking. How are these guys making their money? How are these guys generating profit? And then as you do that, you start to learn basically, oh, could I do this possibly for cheaper? And then you don't need to actually make your own business. All you have to do is make the same business, but somehow make it cheaper. Yes, I gotta start a business of sorts in the long run. I wanna own a card shop like where I go to play Yu-Gi-Oh locals. Most card shops are not gonna last another 10 years, bro. Are there any other games you're interested in besides Yu-Gi-Oh, like One Piece or Digimon? No. Like imagine when they start doing Marvel or Star Wars cards. Let me take a look at these cards, man. Let me see what they look like. How are there some already graded? What the fuck? I thought it was supposed to be already. It's just released today. How are they graded already? I think the layout is decent, but I like the black border. And I like that it's all pretty much original art. But if I see a single screenshot here as I'm browsing, this thing is finished for me. I will not look at it again. It's okay. I'd say it looks okay. I don't know how good the mechanics are and stuff like that, but The enchanted cards are the only decent ones. IMO, those are the alt arts. Lorcana alt art. Let me check that. Oh, like those are full arts. They don't have the border. Yeah, I mean it's okay. I like that they minimize the holographics. I like that they're not like, just splashing. Uh, there's a lot of commons and stuff. But yeah, you gotta get some nerds to play this. You're not gonna be able to. You're not gonna be able to like keep this up without getting the nerds to play it. And I don't know how that will be received. The top selling one TCG player so far is Alt Art Bell for 330. Strictly, why do you think card shops will be obsolete? I think they'll be obsolete because they just can't compete with the big box stores. That's the main reason. Because they don't have online. You have to be able to sell online. Some released last year, I think at some expo, the D23 promos or something. I see. Far said, how much Pokemon do I collect? Not too much. Do not start a card shop. That is a pipe dream. Yeah, it's too much. Elsa's gonna join the ranks of Charizard and Blue Eyes. Lorcana already got a dedicated listing spot on TCG Player. The younger generation just doesn't seem as into card games. They're more into Mr. Beast and TikTok and stuff. I don't think it's that. I think it's just you're not gonna be able to grasp the attention of people too much today nowadays. Your sleeves are amazing. Thanks, fam. Yo, stay tuned. I have a huge announcement, by the way. Stay tuned on Patreon too. I'm gonna show you guys soon. I just need to confirm a couple of things, and it's gonna be crazy. I got confirmation today. Like I think like I got notice today. I just need to confirm some things, and I'll let you guys know. It's huge. There's an auction for PSA 10 Expo Mickey Mouse, which is at 3K right now, and has 3 days remaining. Yeah, imagine me paying 3K for for some random Mickey Mouse card. A PSA D23 promos has been selling steadily for 25K. 25K, damn. Man, that's craziness. But I really like that they're redrawing these arts. It's not, it's like it's screenshots, but it's also not its original art. I really like that. I think once they start delving into like Winnie the Pooh, I think people will really like that. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. The roster is really big. I think it's, if I was to pick like one roster that can survive a long term game, it would probably be Disney. I can't imagine like what else could, like, bro, they have so many IPs. It's insane. And I like how they gave 2D renditions of like the 3D stuff, like the Tangled cards. I like that. I like that they all look like they're cartoons. They're drawn by the same person, even if they're not. It's pretty cool. I'll probably pick up a first edition box, and if it's for retail, and then just set it back. If there's a way to identify and make sure it's sealed and stuff like that. I have a first edition. I have a first edition case of Alpha from what's it called? The other set. What's it called? Welcome to Wraith. And that one did pretty well for me. So I'll probably pick one of these and just yeah. Good luck finding it for retail. Oh, okay. If I can't find it for retail, then forget it. Nintendo would be great too. Yeah, Nintendo is great too. Yeah, I agree. But Nintendo is going to be a little bit harder because like, it's not more. It's not as like in your face artistic, if that makes sense. Paying that much for a card game that came out in the last month is insane. I agree. Strictly, are you into playing any sports? Yeah, that's pretty much all my pastime. That's literally all I do. I just play sports. The Dreamborn cards are where the characters play different roles or have different identities than they did in the movies. Interesting. So it's like Delta species in Pokemon. Bro, why the hell does this look like a magic card? Oh, wait, no, it is a magic card. It's like, what the hell? I looked up Dreamborn Muse, and it's like... I mean, it's cool. I think that it looks great. I'm definitely not paying more than retail, though. You'd be out of your mind if I paid retail. If I paid more than retail, sorry. You should be able to find it for retail after September 1st in first edition. What consoles do you own? I don't own any consoles. I don't play games, man.
A GameCube.
Oh, my wife owns a GameCube. Yeah, I like for example, I'm looking at the Elsa Frozen one. It looks very similar to like the art style looks very similar to the other ones, which is really nice. Same with Mulan. What the hell's Action Song? What the hell's Action Song? I thought you had a DS. No, not anymore, man. I had one like a long time ago. I have a sealed one like for collection purposes, not anything to play with. Dreamborn Hero Alien. Storyborn Hero King. Floodborn Ally Fairy. What the hell is that? Yeah, I don't get it. But whatever. But this will drive a lot of nostalgia, to be honest with you. Now that I'm thinking about it, like I'm thinking about like, bro, I used to watch Goofy movie all the time. So I could see somebody wanting to like pick up, like the Goofy movie card or something. Very interesting. Thanks for bringing this up, Crispy. I appreciate it, man. Man, most of the alts are on the last page because they don't have market price yet. Interesting. The products are only currently released at LGSs until September 1st. After that, they will be available at large retail stores. That's really good on them, though. I appreciate them supporting like local game stores like that. It's very similar to like the hobby retail dynamic that they did in Yu-Gi-Oh. And is there a first edition for the product or no? And you know what's really good about this is that you can get into the lore even if you haven't watched the film, right? Like you can get into, for example, like okay, let's just say you see some, the healing glow with the hair or whatever. Okay, you can go and watch the film, and you're getting pretty incredible content for the backstory of a lot of these cards. It's not like how, for example, if you want to pick up a new card game, you're gonna have to read some freaking novels on how to on the backstory of a lot of these cards. So like, I think that's pretty cool. Like the attachment will be there from the films that you already watched or you can watch, and these films are pretty fantastic for the most part. Like I think Disney films have been pretty good aside from like the live action stuff. From what I've heard, no first edition. Wow. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. That's really good. It means that they're not really trying to bring in hype. They're really trying to make an actual card game. I respect that. I respect that. You still have to have first edition though, because then this is like not investable. What they can just reprint this whenever they want. So that's probably that's probably what I will do then. I'll probably wait until they re-release the first set. If there are differences, then I'll pick up a booster box of the original, like to the packaging or something that identifies the first edition. And if there's no difference in terms of the cards inside, then I'm not picking it up at all. Because this is cool, but I'm not interested in investing in it if there's no first edition stamp. I wish they could make the entire set original art. Wait, R2GH2. What does he say? There are One Piece cards. Oh, yeah. Most of them are screenshots, though. What do you think about graded comics? I think they're pretty cool. I just joined. Was the topic of the convo? We're talking about Lorcana. Are you releasing more binders anytime soon? I am going to be releasing some in Q4 2023. So no market watch. Yeah. Did we hit the likes? Oh, we hit 58. Okay, yeah. So you know what? This is what I'll do. I'll end this one, okay? I'll end this one and then I will reboot. You know. I'm kind of tired anyway. I already went too much talking, man. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Sorry, guys, and I'll probably do market watch on Sunday. Just continue and cut out the first 2 hours, bro. I'm so tired, man. All right, for crispy, I'll do it for crispy. No worries, house market counts, bro. I appreciate it, Tavis. Thank you. Oh man, I'm tired. but I will do it for Crispy. The guy's a long-term patron. All right, I'm gonna shut this off, and then I like your talks on all these subjects more than Market Watch. I appreciate you, Howard. Thank you very much, man. I'm glad you value what I have to say. It means a lot. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna shut this off, and then I will reboot with another Market Watch. Okay.